Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is 45 years old, my age actually, and he shares his story about events that happened over 20 years ago when he was in his very early 20s and engaged. You're going to see in the story, guys, that this guy unfortunately learns the hard way what happens when you take back a cheater. You're going to see he got engaged really young, and was also very close to her father. And I think because of his relationship with him, he kept her longer than he should have. And you're going to see she cheats on him, begs and pleads with the usual "I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, and I'll make it up to you" crap. Takes her back, and take a while, guess what happens again down the road. Now, that'll be a very good one here to go over, guys, just to show, as a teaching tool, as a learning experience, what not to do. Now, you're going to see his life is going great now, but he's sharing his story about his mistakes to help the guys out. You never take back a cheater. Why? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that when she's begging and pleading and saying, "I'm sorry, it'll never happen again"? Because once a cheater, always a cheater. The common theme to some of these stories shows that, demonstrates that every time. And I might add, in a woman's eyes, that is weakness. A guy that takes her back after doing those awful things, she, whether she realizes it or not, is going to lose even more respect for him. And women cannot at all love a guy they don't respect. So you have to kick him to the curb, no matter how much she's on her knees and bawling her eyes out and crying and promising you that it'll be different next time. You can't take them back. And if you do, you're only going to get hurt. Now, before I get into this, real quick, I have a very brief email from a guy thanking me for my work, and I'll get to the main story here. Real quick, this guy says, "Hello, SSM. No potential story here for you to make a video out of. I just want to say my thanks for the content that you have put out. I recently got abandoned by what I thought would be a girl who I'd want to spend the rest of my life with, and during my depressive downward spiral, I found your channel, and I've taken your words to heart. They really helped me get through a lot. Keep up the good work you're doing, and God bless, a very thankful fan." Well, bro, I'm sorry what happened to you. I really am, and that sucks. But guess what? There are guys out there all over the world that have been through this before, and we are here as a community to help each other out. So I'm really glad that this channel and all the stories I've done have really helped you out. My best advice, as I say to all the guys who have been through bad situations, you take it one day at a time. You take it one day, and you, in fact, will heal. Get out there, spend time with your friends, your family, people that truly care about you and have your back. Exercise, that is key. Get out, eat healthy, do things you enjoy, work on your purpose, whatever that might be, and you'll feel better. And of course, watch content like mine, my channel, other channels to learn so the same shit doesn't happen again, and you're going to be all right. So I appreciate your support, and I'm glad I could help. Okay, on to the main story. This guy says here, "Hello, SSM. I've been following your channel since 2020 and wanted to give you my story from when I was younger. I am 45 years old now, but when I was in my early 20s, I was a blue-pilled simp." Well, get in line, because the majority of us watchers, including me, in my early 20s was very much like that too. I used to do all the wrong things, like putting her on a pedestal, bring flowers all the time, and pay for everything. Smack! Yeah, you know why. I was engaged to my high school sweetheart. Smack! Too young. We dated all throughout school, and we were engaged for a couple of years while she was going to college to be a doctor, and I had a high-paying IT gig. I thought she was my soulmate and the one. Smack! No such thing. Too many damn movies. I also became really close with her dad. Well, that's cool. We spent tons of time restoring old cars, and he really became like a father to me, since my dad had not been in the picture for many years. During that time, she would go out on girls' nights. One night, she did not come home. Oh, that's very considerate of her, given the fact that she was your fiancée and you were due to be married. The next day, I confronted her about it, and she told me that she'd gotten drunk and passed out at her friend's house. Well, we know what that means. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Then a week or two later, she tells me we need to talk. She proceeds to tell me that she'd gotten drunk that night and ended up sleeping with a Navy guy. Oh, those Navy guys. This is when you say, "Adios, have a nice have a nice life, kiss my ass, blah, blah, blah." Problem is, this guy's young. And also, I know darn well his connection with the father is going to play a role here. The reason she is telling me is that she contracted an STD, and that I might have it since we've slept together since then. Oh, how nice of her. I was beside myself, enraged and broken. I told her to leave, and we didn't talk for days. Well, I'm glad you had the good sense at least to kick her ass out then. During this time, I got myself tested, and lucky I was clean. We talked a few times, and she was treated for her STD. Luckily, it was one of those that was treated by antibiotics. She kept telling me she was so sorry. This is him saying this, not me. And she'll never do it again, and she'll do anything to make it up to me. You all have heard these lines before. Hobag Handbook. She wore me down over a couple months, and I eventually took her back. Smack! Now we're about to see, in a few minutes, how that worked out. No, guys, in that situation, even though your heart is destroyed, and you feel like you wasted years with her, and maybe you have a good relationship with her family, her dad, her brothers and sisters, I don't know what, you can't stay with someone like this. Period. Otherwise, you gotta have the self-respect. But I get it's hard because you spent so much time invested in this chick, and you just truly want to believe that she'll change and she's sorry. And it was a one-time mistake. Unfortunately, it's not how it works. We stayed engaged for another year, and I saw no signs of her cheating again. In other words, she just did a better job of covering her tracks. She did everything I asked, and we started planning our wedding. 1 week before our wedding, we have our bachelor and bachelorette parties. In no way, shape, or not that I would take her back, but in no way, shape, or form after that should she be trusted to go to a bachelorette party. Good Lord. Me and my boys did the normal stuff. We went out drinking, played video games, and went to a strip club. Her and her friends decided to take a trip to Florida. When she returned, she tells me, we need to talk. She proceeds to tell me that she met a Marine while she was in Florida. She was only there 3 days. And that she loves him and is moving down there to be with him. The wedding is off. She then packs up all her stuff in our apartment and leaves. Holy freaking shit. She's there 3 days, meets this dude, a Marine, and she's in love with him. What a fucking idiot. Don't get me wrong. There are women that are that flaky, for lack of a better term, and they get so caught up in the emotions. But I don't know what it is with you Marines. My dad was a Marine, and they transferred to the Navy, and he was a pussy magnet, according to my mom, so who knows. But anyhow, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but there you go. Just like that. Once a cheater, always a cheater. But you know what? She's out of your life, and she's somebody else's problem, and I guarantee you she will never change. Needless to say, I was shocked, heartbroken, and it really hurt. I can imagine. Her father came over to talk to me and just kept saying I had no idea why she did what she did, and he was very sorry. I told him this was not the first time she's done anything like this. He did not know about the STD ordeal, after he learned that it caused a rift in his and her mother's relationship. He said he was going to disown her, and her mother was making excuses. Of course the mother's making excuses, probably because the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. This is a man of honor, and good for him. You're more important to him than his a-hole daughter. I heard a couple years later they got a divorce. I don't know if that was the reason, but I'm sure that didn't help. Mother like daughter, I suppose. Looking back, the thing that hurt the most was not able to hang out with him anymore. He is a really good guy. Well, you know what? If he disowned her, and he got divorced from her mom, who probably is just like her, I know you had to heal, and I know you didn't want her back in your life, and but it's too bad. In some way, it could have been worked out. You two had a relationship after that, but I can see, obviously, why that didn't happen. But it's a shame. Yeah, looking back, the thing that hurt the most was not able to hang out with him anymore. He's a really good guy. It took me many months to get over the situation. However, it needed to be done to give me the R-pill education. Over that time, I changed as a person. I started working out, eating right, and worked on my career. I never took shit from women ever again. Good for you. You can't. Bro, you got RP'd at a young age and in the worst possible way, but you were going to be married. 1 week before you got married, she meets her Marine on her girls' trip, bachelorette trip in Florida. Does it sound like a gal that was that enthusiastic to get married to begin with? No. But you learn young, and that's the trick. You don't take crap. You don't take crap from anybody in this world, but especially women. I started to attract women as well. The more I showed I didn't care and just work on my purpose, the more they wanted me. Isn't that amazing how that works? And yet, guys are taught the opposite. I did have some fun with some girls for a few years. Then in my 30s, I eventually settled down with a young conservative woman who was in her early 20s. We had the house with the whole white picket fence, 2 cars, and 3 children. Congratulations on your family. We have our struggles, but she knows if I will never put up with anything like I did with my ex. So that's my story, a man going blue-pilled to red-pilled. I said red-pilled, I'm in deep shit now with the FBI. Well, anyhow, bro, that's a good story. I'm glad it ended with you learning. You learned, and you got your life together, and while you did get married, you said she's a very conservative woman. But at the end of the day, she is a woman. And you know darn well, as you said, you do have your issues, and there's no relationship out there that's not going to have issues or disagreements and stuff like that. You just got to handle yourself right, and obviously you do, and she knows. As I say all the time, your girl needs to know that if she crosses you, she disrespects you, pushes you too far, whatever you want to label the term, you're going to react. And if she pushes you too far, you're out of there. Take the house, take the kids. I'm still out of here, and you're going to deal with the embarrassment of being dumped, okay? Because a man can survive, a man can turn things around, as this guy did here. But ideally, you don't lose the house and lose the kids and all that. So you can't take shit. Women do not respect weak men. They will, some deliberately do things to punish them for being weak. And no joke. So, gotta be strong, gotta stand up for yourself, gotta check them, don't put them on the pedestal. And if she's good, you be good to her, of course. But there's a difference between being good and kissing their ass. And of course, no girls' nights, girls' weekends, no bachelorette parties or strip clubs and all that stuff like that. I mean, granted, you went and did the same thing, but you weren't cheating. So, guys, cheaters, you don't take them back ever, ever, ever. Learn from this guy's mistake. And hopefully you will. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. Oh, by the way, you may notice that I'm in a different area today. I'm actually at a barbecue. I'm taking a break. I got to run to the store to get a bunch of water bottles for my friends. So I'm taking a moment to film something. So I'm always fucking working. But I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Saturday here. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.